So there's a lot of talk about what your hourly rate is. You know, you want to make 50 an hour, 70 an hour, 100 an hour, and that's all great to have a goal. But if you're, and this is just a real general sense, very vague, but there's a very big difference between what you make hourly and then having equity in your business. I'm Oscar with detailgroove.co, where I'll help you start and grow your car detailing business. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and you want more information to start your business, check the description down below. I'm not gonna go too technical just because I'm not technical myself, but just to give you a general sense is that if you work hourly, right, you wanna raise up your prices and you wanna make $100, $200, $300 an hour. You're still limited and you're still sacrificing your time for the money, right? So even if you can charge, $500 to $1,000 an hour, you can only work so many hours per day. And obviously, I mean, at that price point, no one's gonna pay for your services. But if you could get that hourly rate, that'd be great. But you're still capped off on how much you can charge per hour and how many hours in a day you can work. Now, as opposed to having equity in your business or your business being able to run without you, where you're no longer trading your time for money, then that's in a different ball game. And I know I've never really talked about this in any other videos, but just really think big picture, because if you keep on raising your prices, if you keep on getting more specialized in services and paint correction and working in more high-end and high-end cars, then your business is completely focused on you. Whereas you as a detailer have to do all the detailing, and you're thinking, I can never, hire anyone because they're not as specialized as me, they're not as detailed as me, they won't care as much as the work as I do, and that's completely true. But again, thinking long-term, big picture, how do you want to set yourself up for success? And I say that because going back to the pricing, if you keep on raising your prices more and more and more and more, then of course, you're getting more specialized, you're getting more high-end, maybe boutique, exotic cars to do like specialized restorations on the paint or interior. But again, thinking long-term wise, if you want to have a business that's sustainable, that doesn't involve you, then you don't want to keep on going up that ladder, or at least be intentional of what you're doing, of going up that ladder, raising up your prices and being more specialized. Now, there are dozens of books, examples, case studies on people systemizing their business and putting processes in place so the business can run without them. But there is one in particular, just as an example, from Mike Malwaskis. I completely butchered that name. He's one that wrote the book for Profit First and the Entrepreneur Pumpkin Patch, something like that. But anyways, he said he had a consulting business, like an IT firm of some sort, and he said that most companies that were hiring people to do the consulting job that they were doing, they were paying them $70,000-$80,000 salary, because it was such a sophisticated job. It took a lot of mental power it took a good skill set to do what they were doing. But what he did is instead of just hiring these expert guys to come into the consulting to work with them, instead he systemized and he wrote systems and processes down for his entire business, where he said, I think her name was like Debbie or Sally, and he said if this could pass the Sally test, if the work we're doing here, if we can give a sheet of paper to Sally and she can go diagnose the problem and fix the problem, then we have dumbed it down to the most essential steps to get the job done. So I'm not saying that, as detailers, you have to dumb every single last thing down, but the example I'm giving as per what he gave is that you can take the most sophisticated items, the most sophisticated tasks, and write it down as simple as possible. And you want to write it down as simple as possible, where you can give a sheet of paper to someone that has no idea what they're doing and they can follow it step by step by step. Now, that doesn't mean on the first time you give them that paper and they got to go complete that task 100% with no errors, but the main gist is that no matter what you're doing, you should be able to break it down and not be so hyper focused on that one person completing that one job. You need to be able to hand that role down to anyone to be able to get it done. So what I'm getting at is, wrapping it all up, is that if you want to keep on raising your prices because you're getting more specialized, you're working on higher end cars, then you are making it a lot more difficult for you to detach yourself from your business. And again, I'm thinking big picture, long term. I'm not thinking next 3 months to 6 months. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 years down the road on how you want to set up your business. Because if you keep on going of raising your prices and take on more specialized work, then you're going to feel into this rabbit hole of only I can do this work, only I can do this specialty work. And if you are aware of what you're doing and that's all you want, then that's absolutely fine. But just be conscious is, if in the future you want to be able to have staff and do everything you're doing except in a more systemized process, then from the very get-go you need to start thinking of how you're structuring your services and your pricing. So another point I'm trying to get at is, instead of raising your prices to make more money, another thing you can do is be a lot more efficient. So instead of saying, you know what, it takes me 4 hours to complete this, and I'm usually charging $50 an hour. Now I want to make $100 an hour, so let me just charge more. Instead of doing that, and then you're starting to take away a huge, market of people that can buy your services because you're raising your prices. Instead, be more efficient to how you can finish the job faster, bring on more work, and make more money. So there's a multiple ways to make more money, not just by simply raising your prices. It could be to be more efficient and to take on more work. It could be more efficient, hire someone, make less money but spend less time there, so you're freeing up time and still making less money, or possibly making less money, but you are freeing up your time. Or you could say is that you want to take on more work, lower your prices a bit, lower your costs. If you're using every machine, every machine and tool that comes out, and you keep on spending more money to buy those tools, instead decreasing your cost as much as you can, your overhead, dropping your prices a little bit, bringing up the volume, and running a highly efficient operations. That's another way you can make money. So the only thing I'm getting at is, there's dozens of ways you can go about this, but the main gist of it is that thinking long term, 3, 5, 10 years from now, do you still want to be that same person doing all the details every single day, or do you want to start setting up yourself for success to where now you can start systemizing and writing processes in your business to where others can do the job while you don't do as much? Now, of course, you can keep on detailing. I'm just thinking big picture in terms of, do you want to be that person that's working the hourly rate every single day for the next 5, 10 years? Or do you want to set up your business where it's running efficiently without you doing the work, by managing a business, a company, being the owner of it and the CEO and making those decisions? Or do you want to be in the day in, day out operations of you washing the car, cleaning the wheels, cleaning the paint, polishing the paint for the next 5, 10, 15 years? Just food for thought. Again, this is long-term, big picture thinking. This isn't like 6 months, a year down the road. This is what you'll see in the next 5, 10 years if you're gonna play it out that long. So that's the main thing I'm looking at. Making your hourly rate is great, of $50, $100, $150, $200. But again, thinking big term, big picture, long term is like, what's the, you really want to own equity in your business in terms of, you can charge as much as you want hourly, you can work as many hours as you want, but you're still capped and you're still trading that time for money. As opposed to if you can have your business run on its own efficiently with one or two managers, 3 or 4 employees, and let that run on its own without you actually being there. So again, big picture thinking, long-term thinking, not a year, 2 years, but 5 years, 10 years on how you want to set yourself up for success. I know this is kind of a different video, haven't really talked about it. Leave your comments down below on your thoughts, like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.